Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back to Soulful Sips and Real Talk. Today we are continuing to explore parts of episode 4, Losing Her, Finding Me, the shift I did not see coming. This is the after sip, the space where we are going to sit down in real time and talk through what came up after listening to that episode. I've invited a very special guest to join me in this conversation today. Super excited. Someone who deeply resonated with the episode and brings her own powerful reflections and truths and tender wisdom to the table today. So, go ahead if you're listening to this episode, grab your favorite cup and settle in for a soulful sit down and help me welcome to the episode Deanna Smith.
Hey.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So tell the listeners, introduce yourself, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and why you are here.
Well, as you already stated, my name is Deanna Smith. As all of you, you probably wear many, multiple, let me just say it again, several hats. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a full-time professional, along with being a full-time student. I'm about
Okay.
to get my master's. Whoop,
Clap
whoop,
it up,
loaded.
clap it up.
So I'm just excited. I'm excited to be a part of the show because, as you stated, I'm just excited. I'm ready to get this
Yes.
ball rolling. I'm passionate about connecting with women, black women, all types of women. You know what we carry, we all need.
Yes, I
So
agree.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So, again, like I said, welcome to the show, sis. I am so glad that you are here and you are joining me for what I'm calling the after sip. Okay? It means the world to me for you to hold this space, for us to be able to pause and reflect on what's been sitting in our hearts. This episode isn't just a continuation, it's
Yeah.
an invitation to explore what surfaced after losing her, finding me episode, and to speak out loud our truths that we tend to quietly hold in. So let's lean into it, be honest, and let's open ourselves up and conversate on this soulful episode.
All right, let's get
All
into it.
right. So, all right. Like I said, we're gonna jump on into this episode. We don't want to have the listeners just waiting to get it started. So, Miss Deanna, again, I want to thank you for being here. But
Yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
let's jump right into these
All
questions.
right, let's go.
Okay. So when you first listened to Losing Her, Finding Me, what came up for you? What resonated for you with this episode?
I think what resonated with me was when you said, when we start to burn out, who's showing up for us? And
Mm,
when when you said that, I was like, wait, what? I had to, rewind it and listen to it again, right? And so I found myself feeling like this, and I would have to take a time out.
mm-hmm.
Um, and what that looked like for me was the regrouping, focusing, resting, reevaluating what's important. So that often involves asking God what is it that I'm giving my time and attention to that needs to be redirected and reconnection. And so as you see, it's the re's, the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
RE part that we're focusing on, because sometimes God is stirring up some stuff because He wants your undivided attention.
Yes.
That is for me,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that way I don't get into, well, I'm always showing up for my kids. I'm always showing up for this person, that person, my
Mm-hmm.
husband. But I need somebody to show up for me.
Yep.
And then that's when God's like, hello,
I'm here.
I'm here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? What about me?
Mm-hmm.
So that when I get that way, I take time out
To just sit with yourself.
to sit with
Mm-hmm.
myself. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
All right.
And then another statement that you had made was the bounce back.
Okay.
Honey, that honey, that is real. Okay, the bounce back is real. I think you kind of stated as in like we always have to bounce back. But we do.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I'm saying?
We
We
do.
do because one, our lives depend on it. Not only does everybody else's life, but we have to remember that our lives depend
Yep.
on it. So yeah, it's real, it's hard, but it's necessary.
Yes, I agree with you. That bounce back part, I think for me is it like you said, it's huge, and not only that is that you can't just not do it.
Yeah,
You can't give up on yourself.
you
You
can't give
can't
up.
just stop doing the things that you need to do because yes, there are other people that depend on you, but at the end of the day, in order for you to be there for those other people, you got to be there for yourself. So,
Yeah.
yes, you have to, be able to have that bounce back and know also just know where you're, I guess, you lie in between those.
In between, yeah,
Mhm.
in between, but and that's a good thing that you say that it gives you a clarity of where you are in
Yep.
the in betweens to help us though not to think of the bounce back being negative.
Yep. That part right there. All right. Okay. Can you, I guess, describe what it feels like or looks like right now? Because a lot of times in my episodes, I just talk about being in this new season of life. I think as you are aging and you're going through these different changes, you are entering a new season of life in your 40s. And so, like for you, describe to, the listeners and what does it look like for you to be in this season right now?
For me, I really noticed it about 6 years ago. So what was that? 2019, I think. I was just in a space.
Mhm.
Uh,
When you say a space, because I think in this episode I described not having a label, not being able to label what that feels like. What did that feel like that for you, or did you understand the space that you were in?
Okay, so the type of person I am, I need
Mm-hmm.
details. You know what I'm saying? I need to know the who, what, whens, and wheres, and
Mm-hmm.
hows, right? So that space for me of not knowing that, that was difficult for me. So yes,
Yes.
I was just in a space that didn't have any labels, and that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that part.
It was very uncomfortable for me. So then we go on maybe 3 years later, I'm in a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am doing good in my job. Things are starting to look up. I'm starting to feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like I was starting to go back
Yep. Yes.
to the space of no labels. Um, yeah, and then it kind of puts us to where we are now.
Yeah.
Um, and where we are now, there's labels, but now it's kind of like, okay, well, how? Well, when?
And how do I describe
And
those?
how do I describe those?
Mm-hmm. That's the part that I feel like in this stage, as you're entering into it, and even if you're in it deep, it you don't have a title for it. You don't understand sometimes of like these shifts that you are going through. And so when, a girlfriend or somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Well, how are you doing?" I'm here.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're like, how do I tell you that I'm not really okay? And then you're gonna be like, oh, what's wrong? Oh, girl, I can't even explain it.
But you know what? Even in that aspect, though, you only like that with your people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if
Correct.
somebody that you don't deal with like that come up to
Mm-hmm.
you and ask you, "Yep, oh girl, I'm
I'm good.
good. How
Yup.
are you?" Blah blah
Yup.
blah. We gotta put on that whole facade, I guess, for the lack of better terms. But if you have that trusted person, like
Mm-hmm.
you and I, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? We keep it 100.
And even I think at times when you have that connection with somebody, um, sometimes they don't even need to say anything.
That's true.
You can just be like, time out.
Yeah.
Rewind that. What's
Yep.
wrong with you?
Yep.
What's going on?
Yep.
And you're looking like, girl,
Yep.
I'm good. No, you're not.
Yep.
I can sense it. I can feel it. But then at the same time, you're like, yes, I'm going through something, but I just don't know what it is at this point. So, I mean, Ooh, girl, yes.
I mean, you and I have had those moments, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, where you'll text me and be like, okay, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Because you're just in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, yeah.
And I can tell through like just the text message alone, like, no, you're not
And
good.
that's when you pick up the phone,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, um, but not everybody has that Dakia and that
No.
Deanna. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So,
And that is, I guess, where again, this space is created. I want women to understand that you are not going through this alone in this period, in this season. You have other women that are going through the same thing with you. So you're not alone in this. And I hope that when you hear these episodes, something is resonating for you, something that you're saying, okay, this is how this person handled it, or this is how they're transitioning
uh-huh.
into these periods. I can take that in and I can, move forward hopefully and figure that out within myself on what's going on. So I'm hoping that, talking about these things and letting other women know that, you are not doing this by yourself and there are tons of other women going through this. So let's keep going. Let's
Okay.
keep going.
Okay.
I want to talk about, I guess, the quiet grief period that I feel like a lot of times black women we go through. What do you think is so hard in that grief period or in those moments to talk about and understand it? And I guess when I say the quiet grief moments, it's just sitting in silence or trying to figure out the shift that is happening within you and how it's making you feel at that moment. For me, I think in that episode, in the last episode, I spoke of, and it might have been that episode, girl, don't quote me now. Look, um, numbness, just a numb feeling. I wasn't sad. I wasn't I was just blah, like just there, you
You were just
know?
going through the
Just,
motions.
yeah.
And autopilot,
There
so
you
to
go.
speak.
There you go.
Um, how do I deal with that, or how do I describe it? I think it would be
Or let's talk about how you carry it. Like, how did you carry it? If you've already gone through it, if you're going through it. And yeah, how did it make you feel?
how did I carry it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I carried it like you carried it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
not to be
Right.
funny, but the thing is how do you make sure to not to stay there? And
Mm-hmm.
so again, because this is a transition for me, a shift for me where I'm doing some soul searching,
Mm-hmm.
um, where that involves just downright focusing on me. And I think in the episode you talked about not being feeling guilty about it, like the mom
Yes.
guilt type of thing.
Yes.
And I had to get out of that even now. I think we were at breakfast and I was talking about taking some time out for me. Then I said, but I feel guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I still find myself doing that, but taking some time out for me is just trying to discover what it is that I like, what I don't like, what makes me tick, what makes me go,
What you need.
what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again,
Yep.
because we pour so much into others, um, we are depleted. And so we have to make sure that we find that time to get poured back into.
Yeah.
So,
And that part right there of getting poured back into, sometimes you don't always have somebody that's going to do that for you.
no, so
So
you
you got
have
to
to
do
do
it
it
yourself.
yourself.
And there is like a quiet grief that we sometimes carry just in that aspect. Again, I think I spoke like I love doing stuff for my family. I love being there for them. I love being there for my friends, but at the same time, I think at one point when I was going through this, and I think I spoke of this with you when we were just having a conversation one day, peace. I just was always looking for peace. I just wanted quietness. Like if I could mute the world, girl, that's what I was looking for. I just wanted to just stop. Just stop. Just stop talking for a minute. Just I mean, and I know you can't do that, But in that period of what I was going through, and even occasionally now, it's not as bad as it was, a few months ago or whatever. But I seriously, in that grief or that process that I was carrying, and at that time, going through some of this grief, there was some depression in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
But I want to point out something to you that I don't think that you realized during that time that I noticed, and I haven't said anything,
mm-hmm,
um, but at that time you started doing what? You started pouring into yourself spiritually.
mm-hmm,
And you
yes,
started praying more, you
mm-hmm,
started reading your word, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And then things start to shift for you.
mm-hmm, yeah.
And so I think that's like our number one thing
It
because
is.
that's part of our
Mm-hmm,
soul, our mind, will, and emotion. You know,
yeah,
our emotions, are mentally, physically. That is that is a part. They're connected.
yeah. When you're going through these periods, and a lot of times, like I said, sometimes we can label them, sometimes we can't, sometimes we understand the emotions, and sometimes we don't. A lot of times we're stuck in it and we don't understand how to get out of it. But it all starts with just, I think, finding what, like you said, what you need, whether that's spiritually, focusing on your mental, um, blocking
And letting
out,
people go.
yes, blocking out the outside noise because they're not always there. That's not what you need. It's not always there to help you.
Yeah.
Half the time it's not always there to help you. So, okay. So, I guess what is your like relationship right now in this becoming season of your life? And again, that can touch on faith, that can touch on, have you had to let go of, obviously, you've had to let go some of the older versions of yourself.
Hmm.
How has that transitioned for you? Has it been hard? Was it, scary? Were you frustrated? Are you sad that you've even had to let go of some of that? Because I think like I said, speaking from it, with the losing her, finding me, I realized at some point that the old version of me, she served me. She did what she needed to do in those seasons
Hmm.
before now. And I appreciate every little thing I went through with her. But I think for me, I'm okay with letting that part of me go because I'm ready now to embrace this newer version of myself. So for you, what does that experience look like?
I guess kind of like you. Being okay with letting go of the old me, that looks like I use it. I use
Mm,
it to help me get to the place that I'm going.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's supposed to be used
mm-hmm,
for, is to help you um, press towards the mark. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live there, and you
right.
don't have to allow people to keep you there, but you can
Okay now.
use it. You can use it to get to where you need to go. And so, as whether that's the stillness, whether that's waiting, whether that's faith, and for me, um, you get your help in the stillness and in the waiting,
Mm-hmm.
because the Bible talks about in Isaiah 40:31 that
Come on now. She's taking us to church up.
that when you wait on the Lord, you shall,
Mm-hmm.
not you, it will happen. It shall means it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You shall renew your strength. So this also provides space for you to hear.
And with you taking it there, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I think a lot of women go through this too. There were parts of me that were angry with God.
Absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
I was angry with, you're taking me through this journey. You're walking me down this path. And I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to walk with you. But why is it so hard? Why are you making it so rough?
Well,
Like, and it was one of those moments of like, I would talk to God like I'm talking, like I am frustrated, Lord. Like I am angry and I don't understand what you're doing. And I'm
so let me ask you
yeah.
this: when you saying all of this, did you provide him space so he can answer you?
Yes and no.
So be careful. That's just like we tell our kids: be careful what you asking for.
I think I mentioned that in the last episode. I said sometimes we ask for it, but then we get angry because we don't hear the answer when we think we need to hear the answer. And I think that was the moment that I was realizing as I'm coming up into this now of like, I asked you for the answer. I asked you for the shift. I asked you for the change. I asked you to remove the people that no longer serve me. You are slowly doing it, or you're doing it
At your
at your,
pace.
yes.
And that's the pace that is right. His timing is always on time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's always right.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you asked for it, but you didn't give him space to answer you
Yes.
so he could show you what he's doing.
Right.
And so, but that's why we have to provide the space to be still and to wait so we can be renewed, so we can be strengthened and even be healed.
So we can be stretched. Yes.
That's make
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stretch.
Yes.
This is hard.
It's hard. It
And
is hard.
I'm learning. It's hard, but it's also humbling.
It is humbling. I love that word, humbling. It's hard and it's humbling and it's also an understanding of like truly who you are. A lot of times we think we know who we are and what we want, but when you get into this season and you start to realize, you're like, oh wait a second. Whoa, time out. Okay. I didn't even know I wanted that over there, but that's what I want.
And let me add this too. When you said like, why are you taking me through this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? The thing about it is that he wouldn't put anything on you that you can't bear.
Yeah.
Because he said that he's with you and that he will never leave you. So he like, hello,
Yeah.
yes, this is happening, but
I'm
Kitty,
here.
I'm here
Yeah.
with you.
Right. But a lot of times I think just as women, we go through a lot of different changes
Yeah.
and we endure a lot and we do it quietly, and we are humble about it, you know? And at that moment when you are in silence and you're sitting with yourself and it's on this uncomfortable point in your life, you are leaning into God for those answers, you know? And at the same time, I think, like you said, it's just obviously, yes, waiting and being still and listening to him to respond to the answers of the questions that you've asked him. But you don't always understand that. And so when you're sitting in those moments,
You don't understand what?
you don't understand the different changes and things that you're going through in those moments. And so when you're frustrated, when you're crying, when you don't understand why you're going through the depression, you don't understand what this quiet stillness is all the time, it does make it difficult to, I think, a lot of times for women to stop and say, okay, I'm just going to stay right here and let you come in and do everything because we're go-getters. We want to fix everything. We want to, we want to, and I think that's what makes it hard at times. So, and I 100% agree with you. Once I did get to that point of, okay, I hear you. I know what you're doing.
And what did you do though? You blocked out the distractions.
And I'm still learning and doing that. It's not perfect. It's not, but yes, it's a challenge and I hope that, any lady that is going through this understands that, at this point, because a lot of times you don't get it. You don't
Yeah.
understand it, and it can be hard.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
for sure.
So I guess moving forward, What does this new version look like? What are you doing at this moment right now? You're inviting this new version in of yourself. So what does that look like? For a lot of women that maybe haven't gotten to that point or are trying to figure it out, a lot of times you'll hear people say, "Oh, you just need a little self-care, you need to set some boundaries." And I always say there's nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful. But I feel like it's a little bit deeper than that. So, like, what are some things that you are doing to allow this new version of yourself to come out as you're, entering into this phase of your 40s?
Um, I do take a lot of, like I said before, I'm taking time out for me. I'm starting to journal again.
Okay.
Which probably will end up being another book.
Oh,
Um,
oh, time out. Rewind. She gonna just throw that in there like, so you have a book out, which is, and you're saying another book, so that might be a whole nother episode.
but I journal. The thing is though, when I journal, I have a tendency of not going back and reading that. So I'm going to, sketch that I have to go back and
And
read
read what you wrote.
what I wrote. Prayer.
Yes.
Um, and just embracing the moments, whatever that may look like. Now that my children are older and so more self-sufficient, that allows me to focus more on me,
Yeah.
um, and doing the things that I would like to do. So it's just, I mean, those are just a few of the things.
Okay. Nothing wrong with any of those that you're doing. I also want to throw in there, I just feel like therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy is okay. I think a lot of times, and I feel like women are getting more into that.
You mean more black women
More
are getting into that?
black women are getting into therapy, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that that is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want anybody to feel like you go to therapy that means you're weak or
You
you're
got
not,
some issues.
right. It's no, it's sometimes allowing other somebody that doesn't know anything about you
Mm-hmm.
to come in and have you see things that you weren't able to properly see or perspectives
Yeah.
that you weren't able. And I just think that therapy is a good start to your healing journey.
Absolutely.
So,
I agree. Since you brought that up, I have started. I did start therapy for a little bit,
mhm,
but that therapist wasn't working for
wasn't
me. You know
working.
what I'm saying? So it's hard to find that
That
one,
connection. Hmm.
for you. And I'm not big on the whole virtual therapy
Yeah.
because to me that's so interpersonal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Agree.
want you to be in the same room so you can feel my energy and feel my
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with you.
And so I am looking into trying to find
Another therapist.
yeah,
Love that. 100% agree on being face to face. I understand that if you can't, you know, or if you're not comfortable doing that, but you still want to do therapy, obviously those are options out there for you. But I do agree that therapy is a wonderful tool to help start you on a better version of who you are trying to become. I also think too, I have learned in this new space to stop apologizing for everything.
girl.
I did not realize how much I would apologize for. I'm talking about the smallest little things, and then I'm sitting here like, what am I apologizing? What did I?
But
Why did
sometimes
that
don't you?
even?
But sometimes that's not all. I mean, it's not really a bad thing because
Okay, I'm listen. I'm open. I'm open.
the apology is for you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really believe that when you know what I'm saying, you apologize first. So say for instance you and your husband got into it or whatever, and you go and apologize. You have an urge to go and apologize. That's so you can get that off your back and you not carrying it on you. Because
And I hear what you're saying right there. Yes,
us as women, we carry so
we
much.
do.
You know what I'm
We
saying? So Okay, well, I apologize for X, Y, and Z. Okay, now you go over there and you can sit with that if you want to. I'm about to go over here and be free. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying, apologizing for scheduling or for not calling you back, or you know
Right.
what I'm saying, or things that small and tedious and things of that nature. But you
I
mentioned
understand.
something
Yes.
about
Yes.
apologizing and explaining yourself by when you say no. Is you get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
I agree with that.
So I do want to ask you before we wrap up this episode, and like I said, I am so grateful that you joined me in this after sip.
Yeah.
What would, and I'll put you on the spot a little bit, what would
Okay.
be a final word or encouragement that you would offer another Black woman, or, in her own figure it out era, or entering this season of, losing her, finding me, this shift? What would be something that you would encourage or offer a word of?
I would say I would say to be comfortable in your own skin. Because as a black woman, we have many shades
Mm.
of us.
Mm.
And some don't like that skin that they're
Mm-hmm.
in. So what that comes with being comfortable within your own skin is knowing who you are. So I would say
Woo.
I would say get comfortable in your own skin and start with knowing who you are.
Yes.
Which then
Yes.
comes that self confidence. So
Right there.
yeah,
And I'm gonna tell you that that's been a process for me.
yeah,
I'm not even
me
gonna
too.
lie. We talking truth here. We truth telling it. This
Me too.
this
Me
episode,
too.
it has been hard. I think that is some really good advice to share. Because a lot of times I don't think we do that. I know for a fact a lot of us don't do
Hmm.
that. So, okay. Well, I thank you for sitting in this space with us today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
This after sip conversation and reminders that we are not figuring this out alone. We're finding ourselves in the stories that we share. And so, if you are listening and you are in this space, this in between space, I hope this episode met you with grace. Y'all know I love my grace. Every time I'm a grace. And you were able to, even if you were able just to take little bits and pieces of this and say, wait a minute, okay, I hear that part, or I felt that part, or that's sitting with me, or I didn't think about that in that way. That right there is enough for me. I believe that that would probably be enough for you
Yeah,
as well. I
absolutely.
hope.
Absolutely.
So again, I want to thank you, Deanna, for joining me on this episode, the After Sip. I definitely will have you back again. You know this, because we're gonna talk about
It's
this
my
this
pleasure.
next book maybe that's coming
I'm
out.
just, maybe.
I'm just saying we're gonna get her to write another book, y'all. Until next time, like I tell you, remember to make every sip count and let love be the flavor that fills your cup. This journey is yours to reclaim. And I am so glad you are here. You can follow me on Instagram at Soulful Sips with Dakia. You can catch the podcast episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasters and iHeartRadio, and leave comments. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear the feedback. I am open and embrace and welcome all of that. So until next time, beautiful ladies. All right. Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you.